Hello once again, this is Scott on my own YouTube channel, Comic Book Hangover. I got a couple things to talk about today, so I think we're going to split this up into two different videos because I don't want a really unnecessarily long video. This first video is going to be some mail calls that I got this past week, as well as a few things that I picked up on Free Comic Book Day this past weekend. And that said, I hope everybody out there also had a really awesome Free Comic Book Day. Hope you're able to get all the books that you wanted to, as well as pick up some books that were on sale at your local comic shop. I've been seeing a lot of really cool pictures and videos online, the stuff that people picked up, and it's really awesome. I'm glad that everybody is still really enjoying this holiday. And aside from that, I hope you also, some of you guys out there, many of you, hopefully all of you guys, were able to find new books, a new series, or graphic novels, or trade paperbacks, or something that you're interested in that you're going to follow. Maybe added a few new things to your pull list, to your local comic shop. So that aside, we're going to start off actually with the mail calls. This first mail call was a Kickstarter that I backed from Mr. Dan Mendoza, whom everybody should know by now as the creator of the character Zombie Tramp for Action Lab Comics. Also works on, who is it, Dollface, one of my favorite characters. But he has since left Action Labs and is working on his own character now. A lovely little character called Sad Girl Psycho Baby. So he did a Kickstarter for the second issue for this character, and this one came with some freebies, as Kickstarters usually do. So I'm going to share some of the freebies. Now, I'm saying some of these because a few of these things did come with risque variants, which means that you could see female breasts, which apparently some people on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Instagram are offended by the form or the vision or the visual of a female breast. It's just so outrageous. So because there's a chance that some of those people might be watching this video, and if you are, whatever, deal with it. I've decided to take those out so that I don't have to listen to them whine and cry and piss and moan. So here we go. So first off, one of the things that this Kickstarter came with were these awesome metal cards. They're the size of regular trading cards. Really great color on them, and they are made out of metal. So these ones here did come with risque variants, but again, I took those out. But they're all by different artists, and just beautiful, just absolutely beautiful. They did a really good job on these here. And I just got to find something to do with them. I'm actually thinking about seeing if I could find a magnet sheet, if such a thing exists. Get a sheet of magnets and put it up on my wall, because I'm sure I'm going to get more of these kind of cards. And I would love to just have them on display instead of just having to pack them away. I guess some of these things, they have to be packed away because I have no way to display them. But I'm really going to be more active on displaying them. This last one here just came in a risque version. It's a great piece. I don't know what more to say other than the fact I just love the art on these, and the way that the color pops on these metal cards is great. So I got that. Also, in this issue, they come across this item that Sad Girl really likes. It's called Tastios. It's sort of like a Chef Boyardee thing. So one of the freebies in this one was a label that you could actually put on a can to have your very own can of Tastios. And you only got one sticker. I am going to be doing this, and it's going to have this up on one of my comic book shelves. Those who come over and look around my comic book room that know what it is are going to be very awesome people. So now next up, as part of this, were some mini prints. Now these mini prints also came with risque variants. Again, I took those out. We'll get to those in a second. This is actually the book here. This is Sad Girl Psycho Baby. Sad Girl Psycho Baby number 2 by Dan Mendoza. This is the Josh Howard cover. Just for some reason, out of all the covers, this is the one that I liked the most, and I can't explain why. But this issue here, it does give a little bit more of her origin, Sad Girl's origin, and it makes her a more interesting character. I mean, I really enjoyed the first issue, and there was also a con exclusive that I picked up, that I was able to obtain through my good friend Cody Lockwood of Lockwood's Loot. And this one here expands on the character some more, and also also kind of drops some hints of her, I guess, her sidekick. This gal here, grab the card here. Yeah, this gal here Uni, I believe her name is. She's a unicorn. She has healing abilities. So anytime Sad Girl gets hurt, she can heal. And Sad Girl's ability is, as her name says, sadness. She can make people so sad they want to kill themselves. Very handy power to have, I guess. But the book is really awesome. It's very, very thick. Look at this. If I can, look at how thick that book is. And that's a nice thick. If that was a steak, that'd be an awesome thick, juicy steak. But it's an awesome thick, I guess you could say, juicy comic. But really good stuff. Really enjoying them. I'm going to be participating in the next one. So for the prints that came with them, all this stuff, there was these mini prints. So as you can see, they're not the size of a comic book. They're slightly smaller. No less gorgeous, though. Same thing as there's art on some of the middle cards, so you get to actually enjoy the art a little bit more. This one, actually, I would say that this one was my favorite one, but I also got this one, which is also my favorite. I mean, both of these artists just knocked this project out of the park, and it's just amazing, amazing stuff. And the last thing that came with was this awesome little print here. So, great stuff. Dan Mendoza kicked it out of the park, or knocked it out of the park once again. I really enjoyed the freebies. I love this issue. I'm going to be participating in the next one, again, as I said. So let's move on to Free Comic Book Day stuff. So I'm not going to share all the books that I picked up. I'm just going to share and maybe give a little mini reviews of some of the stuff I picked up. So first one that I want to talk about is Starburns Presents #2. This had a couple of different stories in it. It's good stuff. Like this dude here with the gorilla. Gorilla, I guess, is a government experiment and can drive a car like nobody's business. I mean, that was a pretty awesome sequence there. The sad part is, apparently, it only continues online. Now, I'm kind of old school. I have no interest in digital comics. Those that do, I applaud you. I know some people are unable to get to a comic book store and are unable to order through places like dcbservice.com. And digital is the only way for you to go. That's great. If that's how you get your books, that's awesome. For me, I prefer good old school comic books, stuff like this. But that story was really good. The story here about this girl that's in some sort of a weird prison, that was very entertaining. And I would like to continue with both of these, but I think they're going to be digital only. I'm going to be keeping an eye out for them. So if they do print copies of them, I will be getting to the print copies because that was some very entertaining stuff that I read there. And then we've got The Tick. I get a Tick comic book every year because it's The Tick. The Tick is awesome. You always get new stories. There's 8 of them so far. I believe, actually, I have them all. I didn't think I had them all, but I think I do. I haven't read all this one yet, but what I have read, I've only read half of it. The art is great, and the writing is really, really fun. Deadly Class. Haven't read this yet, but I've been very interested and very curious about the series and also the television series. So I will be jumping into this one as soon as I have a moment. And then we've got the first of Marvel's offerings, Avengers. It was an Avengers comic. I guess there really wasn't too much that I could say about it. It really isn't anything here that interested me at all. That's it. So we're going to move on to the next batch. Starting with Spider-Man. Now this is going to be the beginning of the really epic, dust there already, epic Venom story that's starting later this year, where Carnage is going to go on this quest to kill anybody and everybody who's ever had a symbiote. The problem that I had with this, I mean, it's a good book, don't get me wrong, it's a good book. However, you've got Carnage prominently displayed on the cover here. An amazing, amazing piece of art. Of course, it's Ryan Stegman. He can do no wrong. I mean, this guy, he's just always on the top of his game. But it's a great cover. It dominates the cover. But this Carnage segment of the of this issue is very small. There's really hardly anything to go with. I mean, it's this. Really, there's more to the Spider-Man down here than to this, so this should have been the main cover, and then this should have been down here in the corner, based on the amount of time that you're spending with these characters. But this was actually, it was really good. The Spider-Man thing was kind of a throwaway. It probably would have been better off as a backup story in an annual somewhere, and they should have expanded more on the Carnage thing. maybe give more information on, kind of give people a chance to get caught up. What's been going on with Carnage, all these one-shots have been coming out, and here's your checklist of books to read. I think that would have been a better job than what they actually did with it. But that said, it was still a really good read. And if nothing else, it's worth having for this cover alone. This is an awesome cover. And actually, I think I'm going to be getting a poster of that cover. So, next one, Spawn, #1. I remember buying Spawn #1 originally when it came out so many moons ago. This is just essentially just a reprint of that same issue, but you've got a really sweet new cover on it. So it's definitely worth picking up. I know Spawn collectors are a very loyal group, and I think that's really awesome. The series has never been rebooted, relaunched, renumbered, or anything. And it's nearing its 300th issue, which I do have to applaud Image and McFarlane and just congratulate them on reaching such an epic milestone. So I may actually pick up issue 300, despite the fact that I haven't read a Spawn comic since I think issue 4 was the last one I read. The last one here that I picked up that I want to share with you is this one from Scout Comics, who's kind of becoming one of my favorite publishers. This Midnight Sky thing that they put out. I did read this other stuff. The Long Live Pro Wrestling, that's pretty interesting. Gut Ghost, actually very, very humorous, kind of gross humor of a ghost that sucks things into its body with its intestines. It's there. But this Midnight Sky, I'm not quite sure what this is, if it's an alien invasion or if it's a supernatural thing, but if you get a chance, if you're able to pick up this specific one and you're into sort of like a Stranger Things sort of storyline, this would be one that you definitely want to pick up. Deals with these creatures, and this girl here, apparently her blood can kill these things. I'm not quite sure how to explain beyond that, but the fact remains is that I'm going to be looking for the first issue, the proper first issue of this series, and we'll be requesting that at my local comic shop, because that was a really fun read. This is probably one of my top favorite reads from Free Comic Book Day. So now let's take a look at the stuff that I picked up from my local comic shop. So I picked up quite a few books. A lot of them were Marvel Comics Presents. For some reason, I'm wanting to get a full run of the original Marvel Comics Presents series, and I'm thinking about halfway there, a little bit more than halfway there. I might do a video and just kind of go through the books that I have at another time. But I also like checking out the Marvel Age stuff, mostly if it's got my guy on there, Ghost Rider. And I'm a huge Ghost Rider fan. The original Ghost Rider and the Danny Ketch Ghost Rider 2099. The stuff that's kind of came out post Hammer Lane, I really haven't been able to get into. This new guy whom I refer to as Ghost Driver, I have absolutely no interest in. But you give me the old school stuff, and I'm a happy camper. So I picked this up, and a couple of other Marvel Ages, because they had previews for this Ghost Rider series. I also finally pulled the trigger on this Silver Surfer Coming of Galactus graphic, or trade paperback. And it had been down at my LCS for quite a while, and I looked at it almost every week. And he had the sale going on for Free Comic Book Day. I couldn't resist. I had to have it. I think I've already actually gotten these issues collected in other forms, but this cover, it's round limb, and you can't resist that. I can't resist a round limb Silver Surfer, so I just had to have it. I'm glad I picked it up. Couple of Ren and Stimpy stuff that I grabbed. This is the one that I really enjoyed the most. It's an ash can that they used to have in Wizard magazine. As it says down here, it's a supplement to Wizard number 50. Anybody who remembers Wizard magazine knows they used to have giveaways and inserts like this all the time. This one was a lot of fun and kind of appropriate for Free Comic Book Day, because Ren's got a comic book that he thinks is ultra rare, and throughout the series, as things are happening, throughout the issue rather, as things are happening to this book, across the bottom it tells you what damage has been done to it and what value the book actually has. It's very entertaining. Last one was a surprise for me. I was surprised to find this, and it was in the dollar bin, and it's kind of, I guess you could say, ironic, because last week I picked up the first issue of the new series from American Mythology. This is the first issue of the DC run of Laurel and Hardy, and again, it was in the dollar bin. It's in really, really good condition. I think there's just a little bit down here, the back of there's a little tiny piece that's kind of ripped off from the cover. But beyond that, I mean, it's still in really good condition considering how old the book is, and I guess it had a low print run or something. But I found it. I had to have it. I mean, it's Laurel and Hardy. It's DC #1. 20 cents. 20 cents. It's hard to believe that at some point in time, comic books were actually a little bit more affordable than they are now. But those are the books that I picked up for Free Comic Book Day. So in a little bit, I might be doing another video. Actually, I will be doing another video with the books that I picked up this week. So, but there you go. Hope everybody, again, had a really good Free Comic Book Day. I hope you enjoyed my video. If there's any suggestions or advice that you'd have that I can, more stuff that you want to see from my collection, or stuff you'd like to see me do, change the format or whatever, just let me know. I'm open to any and all suggestions. Constructive criticism is really the only way I and other people who do these sort of videos actually get a chance to expand. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.